Easy people, nice things back. I'll say that again. Easy people, nice things back once again. With the ill behaviour. Look at that. No edits here. Straight into it. So this is a beginner's guide to tweaking, and I don't mean taking meth or I mean tweaking in the Akai Force. Anybody new here, as you gather, I don't edit things. I try and show them in real time. If you're not keen on the way I do things, because it can be boring if you don't like somebody yabbing a lot, there is plenty of other really good Akai Force guide folks. Me personally, I like what Pete Buddha does. He's pretty cool at it. Never mind him as well. There's the Elbow Studio guys, and those are the two what come to mind at the moment. I can't think of anybody else. The Matthew Stratton guy, he used to do some. I don't know if he still does. Anyway, I digress. We're here for me. Like I say, I'm terrible at this. But my method is, I'm just an everyday person, and just like yourselves. And I believe if I can do it, you can do it. So that's why I try and show things in real time, as well as mumble off about things that mean nothing. So what you're here today is to see, like I say, tweaking. And this involves a couple of things. The main one what I wanted to show you is what I call the drum programmer. I know it says step seq. I don't know why they called it that, and the other thing's called step sequencer, and it can get really confusing. So I'm just going to call this the drum programmer. And what I want to show you is little quality of life things that you might not be aware of, because one of the major things about the Akai Force is the documentation. It's one of these flaws that the documentation, some things are not necessarily clear in there, or might not even be in there at all. And that can be true as well. So a lot of things are like a discovery. It's a bit like Raiders Lost Ark. Sometimes you're spotting stuff. And this is something I want to show you, which will probably improve your compositions or help with writer's block, and just kind of innovate at the same time. So here I've done a little beat here, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, right? And let's say for the sake of argument, I'm going to do some bass line, right? So I'm going to add a bass line in here, and do you know what? I should check something. One thing I should check. Oh, cool. Right. So I'll add the bass line in. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3. And then something there. So I've got my little bass line there. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But you see this bass line? Oh, good Lord. Sorry. You see this bass line? It's quite long, but it's only playing. So how would I get that longer? Oh, do I have to change the resolution? Well, that's going to mess everything up, because maybe I only just want to change it on that. So I'd have to switch that to there and then press that. But look, all the timing's gone, all the resolution. It's all getting confusing. Oh, what's the point? Forget this. I'm selling this machine. That's what usually happens. But to prevent that, what this does is it works in conjunction with clip. And that's what sometimes people are not realizing, that this works in conjunction with clip. And more to the point, grid. So what I do, or can do, if I want to make this note longer, all I have to do is press select and select that note. And now that note's lit up, and it's lit up also in the grid. And then I've got all the access here. So what I'm going to do is I go here and use the data dial and extend that note, because I want it to be a little longer. So it's going to go. So maybe I'll say that this other one. Da, 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 1, 2. So I can see it because I can see the green light. So I'll select that one and extend that. But say I wanted to extend both of them. Well, then all I have to do is press shift and select. And now I've selected both of them, and I can extend both of them like that. So I'm like, yay, that's cool. Another thing you might not be aware of as well is you can kind of do an invert. So let's say I click off here and I go back to there. That selects all of them. You can see that because if I press there, it selects all of them. And then let's say I say to myself, well, no, do you know what? I only want to select this one, right? I could go like that and I go, oh, well, that didn't work. Why? Because it's that. So you press it twice and it inverts. I'll show that again. So I'm going to select that all, right? Select that. I press it twice, it inverts the notes. So that's another way of if you just want to quickly get to one note. So let's speak about this. Right, that's great. This rhythm, I like the rhythm, but I want it to be all funky and change up all the notes, like how this is. Because there's a load of notes, but it's on the one long line. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't want to have to create a separate like key group just to play notes. Maybe I just want to do it all on one kit like I am doing. Well, how can I do that? Well, it's tuning, because that's what this is doing. This is just tuning this up and down. So how can I do that? Well, let's say I'm going to go to this note here. So I'm going to select this note. So I want it to go da, da, and then I'm going to go something else for 3 notes. 1, 2, 3. These 3 notes I'm going to change to something else. Unsure what I'm going to change them to. So what I'll do is I'm going to select this first note here, which I already did. So select that. I'm going to decide on the note. Maybe 1, 2. Yeah. No, I'll go down. So these 3 notes are going to be that. So I say to myself, well, how do I know what that is? And this is how you do it. So I've selected the note I want to change. I go to list here, and this highlights the one what I've got. Now, these 2 things work in conjunction with each other, and they're your friends. And I'll show you why they're your friends, and that's how you want to do it a little bit later. If I was to use the scroll on the pad, I'm going to have to be careful where I click, because if I click wrong, it highlights something else, and it's like, oh, that's the wrong note. So the easiest way to prevent that is, go back to there, is to click on the locator and use the locator for scrolling up and down, because you can find wherever it is. It doesn't matter how many bars it is, and you can always remember the number. And if you want it to be in smaller increments, more to the point, ticks, then you press shift and then it'll move in ticks. So you can move up and down, and then I can go on to the one what I want. It doesn't matter, that doesn't matter for highlighting. In this instance, it's just to show you where you are. That comes into its own in a few minutes. I'll show you why. So I've got my note. Let's go back to it. It's highlighted there. I can tell it's a note because it's got the symbol note there. It tells me what the note is, the note key is. And it's the A9 where it's there, because it shows me. It shows me how long that note was. We've already talked about how we can extend it and blah, blah, and the velocity is the same, rather, because I just stuck to the same velocity. But what I said is I want to make that note. So this is what it is. This is naught. And what this goes up is, it goes up in increments of 10 and decrements of 10. What I mean by that is, this is naught, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. And the truth, it's true the same way in the opposite direction. So that's naught, minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40, blah, 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 blah. So with that knowledge in mind, I can go, well, that's naught, 1, 2, 3. So if that's 3, that's 30. So all I need to do is come over here to where it says mod type, and I turn that to tuning, and then I just bring that up to 30. Now I could go scrolling, now I could just type in that and type in 30. So now I've got that. And now I know that's 30, and I want to make these 3 30s, and I can just select it. It would be nice if you could highlight them all, and it does them all in one go. It doesn't, because you have to get to that. Do you know what? I'm going to try something here, because I like to do things in real time. I'm going to try something here. I don't think you can do this, but we'll see. I'm going to keep my finger on shift and see what happens. In fact, I'm going to keep my finger on shift select and see what happens. Right, well, that doesn't work. Let's take my finger off. Let's take my finger off select and keep my finger on shift. No, let's take my finger off. Put my finger on, back on select. Take my finger off shift. No. Let's take my finger off both. No. Let's press them. No. No. So you have to do one at a time. But we tried. That's how you do it. So it's 30. So it's this one I want to tune. And I want to tune this to 30. Right. So this is like a tracker, I get. Well, it is a tracker, really. It's fundamentally the same rules as a tracker. I've just pressed delete like a ding ball. Let me undo that. Let me select that again. That was the third one. Oh yeah, I had it. Go here, and we'll make that 30 as well. So we've got 3, and then what we'll go is da 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 da, and we'll go low on here. Da da. So let me look again. So that's 0, 1, 10. So we'll go to here. Where is it? Select, and we're going to go to this one. We can't see it, so that's not a problem. That's why we use this, and then we can scroll down until we see something highlighted. There it is, and I can go there, tuning, and I'll take that and I'll put that and call that 10. And I'll do that twice, so we'll go to that next one. Me personally, there's certain things like this I wouldn't do it. I'd play it in real time because that's how you learn. And do you know what I mean? If you've got a keyboard, if you're playing stuff, you should try to learn the stuff you've got. So those 2 are them notes, and then so them 2 of them. And then, do you know what? We'll go one more. We'll go lower. So we'll go in the opposite direction. So these 2, these 2 are going to be low. So I'll select that. And again, I can use that. Scroll down, see where it highlights. And we'll go in the opposite direction. Let me do that again because I just pressed the button like a ding ball. I had it in the right one, so that's cool. So tuning, right? We're going in the opposite direction, so that's note 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 30. Okay, so we'll press that 30, but it's in the opposite direction, Tom. So then I just press that, the plus and minus, which is a brilliant addition, plus and minus. So there, it's in minus 30. And then the last one that I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. So this is kind of like, it's like when you do like old school computer graphics programming where you're visualizing it in your head. So if you notice, I haven't played this tune yet, but because if I hear the notes, I go, da, 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 I don't have to worry about the rhythm because I added the rhythm in. So that's another cool way of working. In fact, for anybody who's like a modular fan or anything like that, this is probably a way to work because you can be mad accurate with this, and you could go, nah, 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 and you can have all your melodies all in your head and a whole load of numbers, and you can have a lab coat on and everything. And do you know what I mean? You've got it. So minus 30. So we've got. So that's about the size of that. Do you know what I mean? So tuning is a note thing. That's one of these things on a note. So it's a modern thing. I always call everything a thing. It's a modulation on a note, and tuning is. There's a couple of other modulations. And let me just see which ones there are. You've got cut-offs and filters and resonance. So you can just do that on a note. You probably wouldn't want to. I would probably just suggest you only do tuning on a note if you want precise tuning. If you don't really need it mad precise, or you're not really bothered, or you want another way of looking at it, what you can do is do this. So keep them at that bass line. That's cool. Let's go to hi-hats, and we'll add some hi-hats in. So we've got our skippy hi-hats, and then what we'll do is I'm going to add in a few of these. So I've got that. Actually, do you know what? I hear... I think this is in a mute group. Because it just sounded like... Yeah, it is in a mute group. Let's take that out of a mute group. We don't want it clashing with anything else. We'll go back to that. So keep the clip open and I'll do it again. So I've got my little skippy thing here. And let's say I want to have that rise. Now, I could do the same thing by selecting all these notes, but it's like I don't need to be that meticulous with this. So this is where I can go now to the step sequence. I can go to the step sequence, so it's already set up for me because I kind of did one before, like Blue Peter. But what I'm saying is, well, where are those notes? They're in the second bar because in the step sequencer, this is the first bar. I'm using 1/16 steps for this because it's just life is easy otherwise. So that's bar 1, that's bar 2. So you can see bar 1 and 2. If you do 4 bars, then you'd have to press it more. But I think I've shown that anyway in the previous one. So what I can say is, I know it's in the second bar, so I'll go to the second bar. Am I sure? Well, I can easily check that by going to the velocities. And there you go. So it's from 11 to 16. So that's number 11 going to 16. So what I want to do is I want to tune those. So I'll add to that pad, which is pad 4. It's already there. And I'm going to tune those. So in bar 2, from 11 to 16. So from 11 to 16, I'm going to tune them. So they're highlighted now. And what I could do, this is where I'm not quite sure, so I'm going to check. This should only work on the things that are highlighted. And there you go. So it's just simple as that. What has that done? Well, that's just tuned all of them up. And if I don't like it that way, I could do it the opposite way around. So that's another quick way of doing it. The difference between that is it's kind of, for want of a better way of saying it, it's less precise because it's not by the note, it's by the automation. If I go into list now and I look at that and I go just to filter things down to save me a load of grief and I go to other, I've got all of those tunings there. Those are not note tunings, they're tunings on that. If you see what I'm saying. And you can see that they're not note tunings because of this symbol there. They're pad automation. They're pad automation. Speaking of pad automation, let's get to some pad automation. So let's say, let's say I'm going to add this in. No. I'm just trying to think of what I want to do now. Yeah, we'll do this. I don't know, 18 minutes. Right, we'll do this. So I'm going to add this in. So same kind of rhythm kind of thing. I'll copy the same rhythm. Same rhythm. So twice maybe. Ba, ba, ba. Something like that maybe. So we've got that. So again, we want all these, we'll have these long, so I'm just going to quickly select them all in one go. Come here, back to grid. I'll do that again because I wasn't on that page. That second one I probably want longer, so I've got to select that one. Again, now select it off, stretch that out. And we'll take this first one as well and make that long as well. And do you know what? This one here, I think it's the one here. Yeah. I think I want that shorter. So I'll go and I'll make that shorter. There. Okay, so I've got that. Same thing again. Same notes. Da, 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 da. I can change that. But yeah, No, I'm going to try and keep this short, so I'm not going to change that because I've showed you how you do the tuning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of, let's see. Right, I'm going to get rid of that. That's what I'm going to do. And no, I'll keep one there. Yeah, and we'll extend that. So we'll highlight that again, and we'll extend that out. We'll extend that so that's long. And what we'll do is we'll tune that up. We'll tune that one up since we're there. So we'll go to list, and we'll go here, back to notes. So in fact, we could just go click here and go, I could just look for notes because I know I don't need all of the stuff. So I'll just go to notes, and then I'll just scroll down to find that note, which is right at the bottom. I already know that. And what's good about this stuff, after a while, your brain starts to make sense of the correlation. So I'm seeing that there, and I'm going to tune that note to something. I'll go up 30 and see what it is, because that should be in key, because I'm using the same notes. I'm guessing here, but yeah. But now, do you know what's happening now? I've got to get all musical, Anna, so now I'm going to have to fix it. So let's see. So let's do these ones. I'm terrible like this. All right, so we'll get that, and we'll tune that now. I wasn't going to tune these, but we're here now, so let's tune them. We'll do that, and do you know what? For weirdness, I don't know what this is going to be like, so we'll move that one. Where is it? Where was the highlight? I can see it there. There. I'll tune this 10 because I'm using the same numbers. So in theory, it should melodically all work together, I guess. Feels like there should be another note there. So da 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 da. So select that. Go here. I'm always into the weeds. That's the thing about me. Always into the weeds. So, let's we'll back to 30. See what that's like. No. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Press select. Oh, it's there. Right. I don't know what key it is, so let's 10. So we'll make that 10. Right. Okay. So we've got that. So we can go back, select again, like I was saying. We'll select this thing here. So where is it? And I'll extend that out because that's obviously too short. Now, let's say, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to have this echo. So I'm going to have it go da 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 da. No, in fact, I'm going to have this one echo here, this one here. So I'm going to select this, and I just want this note to echo. I don't want anything else changed except this one to echo here. So I've selected it. I'll go back to my list here. And did I select it? Yeah, I already selected it. So let's go and scroll down and find it where it's highlighted. So it's highlighted there. Where is it? Come on. There. Right. This is why I said this and these work, because where this is telling me that's where that note's playing. What I want to do is I'm going to do it just before that note. So what I want to do is I want to go back to all. I don't really have to do this, but I'm going to go back to all, because what I want to do is I want to insert something here. And what I'm going to insert is I'm going to say on this pad here, and I can check it because there's pad automation, because there's 3 types of things that you can inserts that you can do. You can have a note, so I could add a note in what I don't need to do because I can just do that on the step sequence or whatever, right? I can do mix automation, which will affect the whole channel. I don't want to affect the whole channel. I just want to affect that one pad. So what pad is it that I want to affect? Is it that pad? No, it's that pad. So that's why it's highlighted there, 13. And what I want to do is I want to add some kind of effect just to that pad. I don't know what effect it is at the moment. I kind of do, but I'm just going to pretend I don't. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to go all the way down through the parameters I've got. So these are all the parameters you've got control over just for this one note. So not only just for this pad, but just for this note on this pad. So I'm going to just insert an effect. So it's just going to affect that. When I press do it, what happens is that's just putting and insert information there. It's also, and this is where it gets refined, it's also set up the knowledge of that right up at the top. So right at the top, it said somewhere near the top. Yeah, it's not going that far, but believe me, if I scroll somewhere, there you go. It's saying this effect is on, but I don't want it on. I want to switch this effect off, whatever this effect is going to be. So it's going to be off until I get down to here. Then I'm going to switch it on. Now, at the moment, it's going to switch it on right there, and I don't want it to be switched on exactly there. I want it to be switched on before because it's going to send an effect. Because if I switch it on there, it's going to miss the note. I hope that makes sense to you. That's how effects work. You have to send the effect in. Even if it's an insert, it still has to have a signal to be affected by it. Is the easiest way of me being able to explain it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that information, what I've got there, and I'm going to nudge it up. And all I have to do is just move it up. So I'm going to move it up one. I'm going to just move it past that note because what I want to do is I just want it to be past that tuning. So that tuning is on 0. So if I go to 2, I could do it by pressing shift, but there you go. Now what that's saying is this effect is going to switch on, and then it's going to affect this because that's the note. That's what type of effect it is. It's a not effect, it's an automation. It's not a note. So this automation here is going to affect this note by switching this thing on here. This note down here is going to play. So whatever's switched on here is going to affect that. And then after that, I'm going to get to here and I'm going to switch it off. So what I'll do is I'm going to select that, and then I can go down here, scroll down, look for the highlighted thing there, and I'm going to insert another effect, and it's going to insert an effect here, pad automation. I'm going to insert the same thing because I want it to switch it off. So I want that enable to be switched off. So I'll just add the same thing, insert enable there. And now that insert enable is still on, but I don't want it on, I want it off. So now it's off. So I could have done that in there, but it wouldn't be as precise because like it would be doing some gaps. So I mean, you can choose, and again, like I say, this is more precise, and you can do a lot of funky things as well by combining both of these together. So if I go into the submixer now and I look, can you see it's off? It already had something on. No, that's another thing. That was something I was doing before, so I can actually get rid of that now. So there's nothing there because if I look, I can highlight it. You can see there's nothing there. So what I could say to myself is, well, what do I want to add? Let's say for the sake of argument, I'm going to add a delay, and I'm going to, and the delay is in an off position. So I'll start it in the position where it is, and I'll use a preset. I don't know, dub delay. I don't know what it's going to be like. So now, when I press this, so do you know what? It's probably because it wasn't in an off position. So let's see. There we go. So that's interesting because that's doing the effect then, and that what that means is that's switched on right up at the top, and it is. And this is what's good about this stuff. You can actually just, you can look at that, and I know why it was, because I forgot to take off nudge. So remember to switch off nudge when you do something. So watch. So where is that? So if I go to select here and I'll scroll down, it's switching on a little earlier than I want it to. So that's where it's switching on, and I want it to switch on after that. I want it to be there. So I want to switch it on at 103, no, 24. So I'll go here. What would be cool is if you could have double clicked into that, but you can't. I'll go on nudge, and then I'll speed it up by pressing shift, and shift kind of takes it a bit more. So like that, now it's 103.21. So it's done it past that note here. So now we've got, so I can go into there and you'll see, and it switches it on. So I can go through these and see if I can see anything that I like. Quarters. Or if I don't like that, because I thought that was a bit whack, let's try something. There we go, that's nice. Or what I can do is I could go in and I could get a ping pong, just so that you could see completely he's doing it. Yeah, that's a weak one. There we go. So that's how you can work and extend how these work. I hope that's been helpful. I always say it's a quick one. But please subscribe. Please like if you like it. But most of all, comment. Tell me what you think. And I will. I try to get round to answering everything as much as I can. So until the next time, as always, peace.